Welcome back to the channel, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Thank you to all the subscribers of this channel. Thank you to all the viewers of this channel in general. So if you're going through a hard time in life, if you're going through a bit of a slump, right? Everybody has those. Everybody has moments in life where, they feel down, where they're struggling. And it's totally normal to feel that way. Keep perspective. The first thing I would advise you to do is to keep perspective. Focus on the things that you have going for you in your life, right? No matter how dark it gets, no matter how bad it gets, there are always some things in our life that we can be grateful for, right? So try to focus on those things and not overly focus on the things that are going wrong in your life, right? Obviously, sometimes it just gets overwhelming. Life is tough. Life is tough for everybody. No matter how successful or happy somebody may look on the inside or on the outside, you never know what their personal story is, right? You never know what kind of situations they may be going through. You never know what kind of struggles they may be going through, right? A lot of the time we tend to make assumptions based on how something looks, right? On how something appears on the outside, but we tend to forget that, that doesn't tell the whole story, right? There are always things that, somebody may be going through. They might be going through, a divorce. They may be going through a hard breakup. They may be going through financial struggles. You just never know what somebody may be going through, right? So always treat others the way you want to be treated. But if you're going through a hard time in life, the first thing I would advise you to do is, again, to not overly focus on the negative aspects of your life. I know this is tough to do. Sinking into negativity and sinking into those bad feelings is a lot easier than fighting them, right? It's a lot easier than taking action towards actually changing your mental attitude and implementing positive actions in your life, right? It's a lot easier to just complain and be negative about the things that are going wrong in our life, right? Fight that negative spiral, because that's exactly what it is. Once you give in to those negative thoughts and feelings, it's just a downward spiral from there. You just keep feeding negative energy into a situation, into, ruminations or anything of the sort. And it's really tough to get out, right? Something from the outside world or, some sort of mental shift needs to happen to, snap you back into reality, right? To snap you back into a normal state of being. If you feel like you need extra help, if you feel like you have some sort of unresolved issues in your life or trauma from the past, whatever it may be, and you feel that you need the extra help, obviously go for it. Don't be scared. But regardless of your situation, the things I list in this video will definitely help you out. So that would be probably, if you take anything away from this video, is to do that, right? Don't feed into the negativity. Don't feed into it, because it's, at the end of the day, it's a downward spiral. Fight it and try to keep as normal as you possibly can, right? Think about, again, the things you're grateful for in your life. Think about the things you're looking forward to, and just try to keep a positive mental attitude. I know it sounds corny and cliche, but it's very true. A lot of the time, those negative emotions, those negative feelings just stay with us, right? Think about it. If you're having negative emotions or positive ones, they have to go somewhere, right? You're going to internalize them, or you're going to release them to the outside world, right? If you're constantly fuming with negative emotions, they're going to, again, internalize into you, or you're going to release them in a negative fashion somehow, right? I'll give you an example from my personal life, and this is something that you can take value from this little story, right? And how important it is to actually use your energy for positive, right? For positive things, and to get out of your head, right? So I'm sure we've all been there, right? Sometimes we are just in a very negative state, and we're constantly fuming with negative emotions. We're ruminating over negative things, and it doesn't seem to go away, right? All those negative feelings and negative emotions that we may be experiencing. And obviously, like I said, the outside world is going to reflect what you're feeling, right? A lot of the time. So if you're feeling negative, you're constantly just going to look at the negative in life, right? So the story goes, again, I was in one of these states. I wasn't feeling particularly good, but something happened where it just kind of clicked, right? I was just working, and, all that frustration that I was feeling, I was putting it into my work, right? It was like a labor-intensive job that I had to do. So I was just using all that negative emotion, and I turned it into good, right? I was using all that energy that I had, all that frustration, and I was taking it out on, the physical labor that I was doing. So this is something that just kind of clicked for me, right? All that energy needs to go somewhere. So don't use it for anything negative, right? Use it for good. Use it to your advantage. A lot of that pent up energy needs to be released. That's why it's so important to exercise, right? Because a lot of the time, again, we internalize all those negative things, all that negative energy, and it doesn't go anywhere, right? It stays with us. So it's so important to be exercising and to be releasing that energy in a positive way, right? So if you're feeling kind of down, if you're feeling filled with negative emotions, that's another thing that you can do, right? Get to work, get exercising, get your body moving. Don't fall into that weird negative headspace and that weird state of being, right? Go exercise, go for a run, do something labor intensive, right? That requires a lot of energy. Manual labor, lift weights, do something with that energy, right? Don't just sit around and stew in it, so to speak. Whenever you feel, like you're having those moments, that would be the best piece, one of the best pieces of advice I could give you, right? Is to use that energy. Don't just sit there and wallow in it, right? Use that energy for good. Do something to, release all that pent up energy that you may be feeling. So there's a great quote in the movie Rocky. I think it was Rocky 5, one of the new ones, right? Where Rocky's talking to his son and he says that life is not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep getting up, right? And I know it sounds corny and cliche, but it's so true. No matter what happens in your life, you just got to keep getting up and moving forward, right? Taking the lessons with you, taking the things that you can learn from whatever experience you may have, right? And just adding them to your arsenal, right? Always getting up, never staying down for too long. Obviously, there's moments where, again, you're going to feel down and you're going to feel out, but you just got to keep getting back up, right? Always have something to fight for outside of yourself, or, even if you always got to find something to fight for, right? Family, goals, personal religion, right? God. That would be another great piece of advice I could give you, is to develop a relationship with God, right? There's a spiritual side to this world, and if our spirit isn't being fed, that's why a lot of the time we feel dead inside, right? That's one of my personal theories, is if you're not, it's not even a theory, it actually states it in the Bible, right? And this is something that's just self-evident. If you're not feeding your spirit, you'll be feeling dead while you're living, right? The spirit also needs to be fed. It also needs to be exercised. I think there's a great quote in the Bible that says Jesus said that he's the vine, right? And we are the branches. If a branch is separated from the vine, right, from the trunk, it's gonna wither away and die, right? So find a relationship with God, develop a personal relationship with God, and you'll find strength in that. Again, so just to quickly recap the pieces of advice that I would give you if you're feeling particularly down. First of all is, don't be too hard on yourself. You're a human being. Everybody experiences sadness. Everybody experiences moments where they're down, but try to keep those at a minimum. Doing the things I mentioned, right? Exercise, watch your mental attitude. Use that pent-up energy that you may have to something good, right? Don't just wallow in it and stew in it. Try to twist it and use it for something good, right? Develop a personal relationship with God. And whatever you do, don't feed into the negativity, right? Don't give it energy, because it tends to grow if you do that. It's a downward spiral if you give into the negativity. Fight it with all your strength. Fight it. It's really hard to do, but the more you do it, it starts being a habit, right? Your new baseline starts to be, I'm not feeding into the negativity, and I'm going to be, in a positive state no matter what. That starts to become your new normal. Obviously, this is very hard to do, but the more you practice it, the better you'll get at it, right? And it's much better than the alternative, honestly. What's the alternative? It's you give in to the negativity, you feel like crap, and things just seem to get worse for you, right? Life is a mirror. Like I said, whatever you put out into the world, a lot of times comes back to you. Energy has to go somewhere. And, if you're just constantly in a negative state, that's all you're going to be focusing on, right? So So if you made it this far, hopefully something that I mentioned in this video will be of use to you. Stay strong. Everybody goes through it, but you just got to keep moving forward, right? Kind of like Eren Yeager from Attack on Titan. If you've ever seen that anime, I highly recommend it, by the way. You just got to keep moving forward no matter what life throws at you, right? Always have something to fight for. Always have something to look forward to. And most importantly, develop a relationship with God, right? Because that's the most important thing. If you made it this far, thank you so much for listening, for watching. If you're new to the channel, welcome. I make videos on self-improvement. I give life advice based on personal experience. And I occasionally talk about random topics that fascinate me, whether they be, an anime, a manga, a TV show, anything just, that fascinates me in general. Thank you again to all the new subscribers, to all the subscribers of this channel, to all the viewers of this channel, and I'll see you in the next video.